It's a look. It's a look. It's a look. It's a look. Alright, so I'm starting off with a fresh face. No brows, no nothing. So you guys can see my start to finish. Alright. Since I just washed my face, I'm gonna use a little bit of my Dewy skin oil. I have very dry skin, so I want it to look very moisturized. I'm just gonna pat it in because I don't want any flakiness. I have eczema, so my skin, it would just get flaky out of nowhere. Okay, so after I do that, because I literally just put like a dab on my fingers, I'm gonna go in with my moisturizer. I'm using Glam Glow Glow Starter moisturizer, and we're gonna try to recreate a very natural looking skin. Like, that's what's on trend, like very clear skin. So I just want to stick with dewy products, like dewy moisturizer, because in order to have like very dewy skin, you have to make sure that your skin looks good and moisturized. So I highly recommend face masks, highly recommend, because for the glass skin, I feel like you have to have a very in-depth skincare routine already. And if you're just not about that life, just make sure that you wash your skin really well and then moisturize. You just want it to look very moisturized and hydrated. And I can't stress that enough. All right, once that's done, I'm gonna go into my brows. So usually I do my brows before my videos, but I kind of just wanted to show you guys how I do them. And also because it is like very bushy brows are on trend and mine are pretty thick, but you can see I have like a half a brow, and that's because when I was younger, 12, 13, I shaved off my brow because I wanted my brows to look thinner, and they just never grew back. So I'm left with this, and I'm almost 30, so they just never grew back. And I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow with my brush, and I'm just going to create little hair-like strokes. And thick, bushy looking brows are like what's in right now. Okay, so I kind of just create hair-like strokes in the upward motions. And if you already have a full brow, just fill in your gaps. And if you want your brows to look thicker, then I'll just create hair-like strokes. Very light hands so that it looks very natural. It's not too harsh. So I don't think Instagram brows are what's in trend for 2019. And now when I say in trend, I just mean like what's hot on the runway. If you guys like however you do your makeup or whatever, stick to it. Ain't nobody telling you to change up your routine. I'm just showing you guys what is hot and popping on as of makeup for 2019. But whatever looks good on you is always going to be on trend. Period. I'm gonna go with my other brow. And I do this fast now because I've been doing this for so many years, but I kind of just create a brow where I have none. Just little tiny strokes at a time so that it doesn't look too fake or too drawn on. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial, then comment below and I'll be sure to do a tutorial on my brows. See, I don't like that boxy look, so I'm just gonna brush it out just so I don't have that look. Anyway, so I'm just filling any sparse areas and make my brows look groomed. Even though bushy brows, ungroomed brows are like what's in, I still like a very groomed look. I'm gonna brush them up and fill in any sparse areas. After I'm done with my brows, I am going to put some moisturizer on my lips because I want them to feel hydrated and look hydrated. Alright, after I do all of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a primer. I'm going to use Wet n Wild Dewy Luminox Base Detente primer. That's almost over. Get a little bit, and I'm going to just prime my skin. Now I'm using a moisturizing dewy primer because we're not really going to be using foundation. I'm not, you can if you want to, but just for the sake of this no makeup look, I'm not going to go in with a foundation. I'm just going to go in with concealer. So I want my skin to look as best as possible on its own. Alright, I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty concealer, and I am in the shade 360 if you're wondering. And I'm just going to go into any dark areas on my face, anything that has any hyperpigmentation or any blemishes, I'm going to conceal with this. So when I do like a no makeup look, I focus on, like, if I have any baggage areas over here, I focus on just the bag area. So I go along where I would have a bag just to conceal it and add some color to it because it kind of helps to conceal better. So I just hit those areas. You can hit underneath a little bit more if you want to. I hit around my nose because I have some redness and some discoloration there. I have a little discoloration here. I have a blemish here. I'll go around my mouth. If you have blemishes all over, I would dot. I would dot it all over the place. Or you could just use foundation, just a light bit of foundation if you want. I have a little bit of redness here, so I'm just going to do that. Now I'm going to use my fingertip in order to blend it in, just because the back of my finger is warm, so it kind of just helps the concealer to melt into my skin really nicely and look more like skin. Now when I'm doing this, I would recommend picking a concealer that is closest to your skin tone, just so that it looks like your skin doesn't look too bright. So because I know a lot of people have concealers that are like 2 shades lighter than them, I would use something that's closest to my skin tone just in order to achieve this no makeup look. And just blend it in. And take your time. Dot, 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 dot. And use your index finger because it's like the lightest finger that you have on your hand. I don't know why. I kind of know why, but I kind of don't want to get into the reasons of why because that's a big breakdown. Just go dot, 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 dot. I'm just going over any type of discoloration that I have on my skin. Especially around here because I look dark in that area. So I do want to conceal it and focus. Alright. And especially on my eyelids because my eyelids has a bit of a color. So I want to make sure that it looks very together and not so dark. Okay. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to set it. I'm going to use a translucent setting powder. And I'm not going to bake. I'm just going to use the setting powder because I don't want the makeup to be moving all throughout the day and I want it to stay. So I'm just going to dab the setting powder underneath my eyes. I don't really want to brush it too much because I don't want it to move. I'm just going to use more of a dabbing motion instead of a pulling motion. And around my nose, because my nose tends to look a little oily sometimes, you know, after a few hours, even though I have dry skin. So I'm just gonna go around my nose so I don't look oily. And feel free to use a little sponge if that's too time consuming, like I'm doing right now. All right. So now that that's done, so once I do so now that that's done, I am going to use bronzer. So I'm seeing on trend, I'm seeing that for spring, it's really on trend to have a very natural looking bronzer, like contour instead of using cream contour or a very harsh contour. So I'm just going to take a bronzer and I'm going to contour with that. And I'm just going to hit all the areas that I normally contour on my face, just so I can add some dimension to it. So my cheeks. Now you could use a matte bronzer or a shimmer bronzer, whatever tickles your pickle. This one is from Ofra and it has a bit of a shimmer in it. Like I said, I'm just going to hit all the areas that I normally will contour. Just so I can add some life back into my face. And I'm also going to contour my nose with it. You could do your eyelids. If you're not putting any eyeshadows on, I'm going to be putting eyeshadow on, so I don't really need to do that stuff. I just want to show you guys just in case you're not doing it. All right, after that, I'm going to spray my face with a setting spray just to add some dewiness right back into it. All right, once that's done, I'm going to go in with highlight. I don't think highlight's going anywhere, so I'm gonna take highlight. I feel like it just adds the glow factor, the dewiness of our skin. So I'm just gonna take a bit of shimmer highlight. This is in a golden color, and I'm just gonna highlight my skin, like I said. So I just kind of like shake it up in this area right here. This is more like of Rihanna's technique. I was watching her makeup artist, and that's how she does it, and I really like it. Go along my nose. My chin, this area, and I'm not using too much. I just literally put a little bit of the bronzer on and just spread it all over my face, so it's not too harsh. But like I said, your prerogative. You put on as much as you want. Clearly, I'm lit. I just like that lit from within look. You know what I mean? All right, excuse the fallout on my shirt. What happens when you wear black when you're doing makeup. I need like a bib. For real. All right, so after my skin is done, I'm gonna go into my eyes. Now there's two looks that I'm seeing that are really on trend, which is more like a jewel tone look, or you can go with a very natural look. And I'm seeing a lot of nudes, a lot of rosy tones. I'm gonna go with my Huda Nude palette, and I'm gonna kind of just create a very natural looking eye, but still a little bit, you know, pizzazz, because I like a little something something. I don't like a lot of nothing. Just weirdos. All right, so I'm gonna go in with Teddy, and I'm gonna mix it with Secret. So these are just nudish pinkish tones, so you use whatever you have. And I'm just gonna go into the contours of my eyes with my lid, so like a transition shade, with a fluffy brush. And just a sweep of color. Now you could completely just leave the sweep of color like this, which looks really nice. You know, like just muted tones look nice, but we're just gonna up the factor in a second. I like to mix my colors because I just do. Just creates a nicer look, but use whatever looks good on you. Okay. Once that's done, I'm gonna go in with Daydream, which is just this color right here. Excuse my nail and my hand and all these colors on my hand. Alright, I'm just gonna use Daydream and I'm gonna put it on my lid with my finger. Just because I want that payoff. It's such a pretty color. And tone and texture I really like. It's like very shimmery. Which in shimmers and glitters are really popping right now. Yes, it's a popping. Alright. So I'm just gonna put that all over my lid. Okay. And I wanted to show because I'm not gonna be putting on any eyeliner or lashes. Gasp. Oh, okay. I'm seeing on the blogs, the stuff that I read, that natural looking lashes are really popping right now. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with Love Bite shades. Excuse my messy little palette. And I'm going to kind of darken out the edges, like you'll see. I'm going to darken out the corners of my eyes or even a little bit at the top because I kind of need a little dimension here. Like I don't like it to look too, you see, like this just looks too, it looks perfectly fine if you want to do it that way, but I just need a little extra because I'm a little extra. So I'm just going to focus on the outer part with this color and a little bit on top. So kind of like your V right here. And it doesn't have to be super perfect, just has to blend nicely. All right, after I do that, I'm just gonna take my blending brush that I used previously and blend it out some more. Just use any fluffy brush that you have. See, just add a little something. Do I like that? Do I? Kind of like it. All right. Add more if you want. At the end of the day, this is your face, so it has to fit you. My face, you know, what looks good on me might not look good on you. So you gotta kind of play around with what looks good for you, because we're all different. All right, now I'm gonna go into my lower lashes. I'm gonna just take this little pencil brush and I'm gonna go in with the same colors that I used on top. So I'm gonna take Teddy and Secret and go underneath. And try not to make that face that you make when you're putting something underneath your eyes. Even though it's a little hard. I wonder why we do that. I wonder, I really do. Maybe it's just the muscles in our face that does that for us. Whatever. Okay. And now I'm gonna go in with Love Bite and I'm going to just focus it right at like the base. Once again, this does not have to be super perfect, which I kind of like about it. Okay. Since I'm not going to be putting on any eyeliner, I kind of want this to look like act as my eyeliner, if you know what I mean. So I want it to show. All right, after I do that, I am going to use mascara and I'm really going to focus it like on the root of my lash. So I'm gonna take it at the root and I'm gonna do a little squiggly motion and then I'm gonna pull it up. So what this does, it makes the base of my lash look really thick and full, and it doesn't make my mascara to look too spidery. Even though I used to love that look, I'm just seeing very natural looking lashes in trend. And they said the more natural, the better. I need a lash. I need some darkness, so I'm just going to put it on the way that I like it. Like I said, customize this look to however makes you happy. And I'm going to put it on my lower lashes so that it opens my eyes up more. I'm literally putting on like 2 layers of mascara. So now that that's done, I'm gonna just add a little hint of the color that I used on my lid in the inner parts of my eye, which is Daydream. So I'm just gonna hit it right here, just so that it opens my eyes up a little more. So now that it's done, we're gonna put on some blush. So I'm seeing that they're saying that a blush, like, don't feel too afraid to go into blushes. I would say use blush with caution, just because you don't want it to, like, you know, overpower your skin. So I'm just gonna take a few little pinks. I have this Ofra palette, and I just dab it into just the lighter color blushes, pinks, whatever suits my tone. And then I dab it off. I'm just gonna go onto like my cheek, and I just dab it in like that. My nose too, just a little bit, just to add, and on my forehead, just add a little bit of color to my face. I like it, I like it, I like it a lot, I like it. All right, and then after that, I'm gonna spray my face again. Oh, I didn't even get into my lips. I'm gonna spray my face again. Jesus. It's the dew factors, the dew factor. And then I'm gonna go into my lips. Now I'm seeing berries and reds and plums really in trend right now. I'm gonna go for a more nude look with a berry tone. This is Hades Fire by MAC. It's a metallic. And I'm just gonna dab it into my lips. And I'm gonna blot it out with my finger. Just to add a hint of color. And glosses are really popping right now. I don't know why I keep saying popping. Glosses are really popular right now. So I'm just gonna take a bit of gloss and I'm just gonna hit it on top of the color. I think really what the look they're going for is just very hydrated face. That is the end of my tutorial. You see like right here how it looks a little too dewy. I would take my I would take translucent powder and I would dab it in that area because I don't want it to look too like oily looking, you know what I mean? I hope you guys like this tutorial. Comment below, let me know if you do. Bye.